Hello, my name is Gunnar Johnson. I will be discussing anonymous access to information. So, anonymous access to information is what my project is focused on, and it is just what it sounds like. It is the ability to stay anonymous while on the internet. So, many people, instead of using services like Google that track what you're doing and collect all the metadata, they use sites like Tor, which encrypts what you're doing, uses server bouncing, which I will go over later in the presentation. Tor allows you to be anonymous online, and people use it because they feel like they don't have enough freedom on the surface web. And the surface web is includes web browsers like Google, what is included in their index, and the deep web is Tor. So later on in the presentation, I will go over all those points. This is just the main overview of it. Effects and impacts. I will be going over the questions and my responses. So explain a benefit or harmful effect of the innovation. Here I just talked about the harmful effects, which are crime and the inability to catch criminals on the internet because of the fact that they are anonymous. So Tor allows people to choose whether or not they want to disclose their identity while on the internet. This power of anonymity on the internet is easy to abuse. There are a lot of sites on Tor that allow you, like Silk Road, which was recently shut down. It allows you to either sell or buy legal products like drugs, guns, in some cases, even hitmen. There is a lot of internet pornography that is illegal, and a lot of this is about the fact that you are anonymous. So when you're anonymous, you have less of a conscience because no one knows who you are. If you were being tracked and you knew you were being tracked and all your information and your name was on everything that you did, then you wouldn't perform criminal activities. But on Tor, it's a catalyst for crime, pretty much. So my picture right here just mostly explains Bitcoin, which I'll be going over later, and its effect on the economy and how it is universal. So explain the impact that the innovation has on society, economy, or culture. This one I went over the impact that it has on society again. So anonymous access to information has many positive and negative effects on society. Services like Tor have made it easy to act anonymously online and keep away from online tracking from companies or governments. Although it does allow for one to retain their privacy online, the deep web is also a modern-day black market and once again a catalyst for crime. Child pornography, drugs, and hitmen are just some of the illegal businesses that can be found fairly easily on Tor. And it is the possibility of finding these businesses that deters most people from using the service Tor or being anonymous online. A lot of people want to be anonymous online, and very few people want to be tracked and have their information stored in Google's databases. But it's the idea of coming across child pornography or things like that, or the fact that you can easily talk to a criminal that keeps a lot of good people from using Tor. And so this graph right here, it shows what percentages of Tor are being used for what. And you can see some is for porno, some is for hacking, for hidden services. A lot of it's for information, which is good. A lot of it's for cybercrime, and political and terrorist propaganda. So it does look like a dangerous place. And this is a survey that I took. It said, do you think anonymous access to information on browsers like Tor can act as a catalyst for criminal activity? 20% of the people that I asked said no, and the other 80 said yes. So it is pretty clear what most people think of Tor. And so the next question, question D, says indicate one field other than computer science which this innovation has impacted or has the potential to impact. And I talked about the economy because most of the transactions made on Tor are through Bitcoin. And a lot of people choose to use Bitcoin because it is separate from the business market. Let's say if the market crashed like in 2008, then Bitcoin will not be affected. Although Bitcoin does fluctuate a lot. But Bitcoin allows for another sense of freedom like you have on Tor. And that's why many people use Bitcoin. And so the black market will become easier and larger to access, since almost anyone has access to a computer on the internet, and you can use Bitcoin to buy illegal products on these internet cyber black markets. And so here's my video. And for my video to record it, I initially recorded it with my cell phone. I then uploaded that to my YouTube account, and then I was able to edit it. And then I posted it to YouTube, and I embedded it in my code in the HTML. And the HTML is what is used to make this website. It's I used a CSS style sheet in order to make it look like this, to change the colors, add the rim to the edge of it. I also added in this banner, which I made on Pixlr, which is an online free Photoshop tool. I used layers to do it, and I also added text. So here's my video.
Jake, what do you think about anonymous access to the internet? You know, personally, I don't think that it should be allowed in any way, shape, or form, because it allows the general audience to be performing possibly illegal actions.
Like on Tor?
Like on Tor. I could, for example, if I wanted to look up how to cook crystal meth, the government wouldn't be able to track that to me, and I'm a potential criminal. So then
that's all. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Incognito.
Technical aspects. Question E, describe how a user interacts with the innovation. So here, I don't tell you exactly how to sign up for Tor. I leave that to the video link down here, and I also write this video goes over how to sign up and use Tor. But in my answer, I talk more about how Tor keeps you anonymous, how to stay anonymous. Like, there are ways that people can find out what you were doing and what kind of hardware you were using while on Tor, through little mistakes. So next, question F. Describe in detail how the innovation technology incorporates at least one of the big ideas of abstraction, algorithms, programming, and or the internet to accomplish its purpose. So here I said Tor uses the internet in order to keep people anonymous when they access information. The internet usually allows a user to be tracked with ease because of their web traffic and IP address. These things can tell a company where customers come from or what they're looking at. Google Analytics uses tracking in order to tell a website owner information about the people that are visiting their sites. So Tor knows how people are tracked on the internet, and they almost outsmart the internet in order to keep you anonymous. So they send it to multiple locations, and this allows the user to stay anonymous and unknown because there are many places that they could be, in many places that are given. So when you send out information or you import information, it is being sent to various locations, being sent from various locations, and the only way that somebody could really track you would be if they were actively watching what you were doing and they used systematic analysis, and looked at the locations of where your information is being sent from, and then they'll see a pattern of maybe one or two locations. So then they'll see where it's being imported and exported from. That is the only way you could be found on Tor. Relationship to data. Question G. Describe how the innovation consumes data as input, produces data as output, and or transforms data. Anonymous access to information is possible with the services of Tor. Tor allows users to stay anonymous online by taking the information that people put into the computer and sending it to multiple places. So instead of sending it just to the intended client, it sends encrypted links, as seen in this picture, to multiple computers. And they are the computers of those who are signed up for Tor. And eventually it will send the encrypted link to the intended recipient, but not before it sends it to multiple other computers to throw off anyone who is trying to track the information. So the way that Tor works, it's not as clean as the surface web, it's the deep web. So it's mostly link hopping. Once you click on a link, it brings you to one spot. You click another link, it brings you to another spot. It's a lot of random clicking to find information. And it works like most search engines. You can type things in, you can type in queries. But other than that, it consumes and produces data just as the service web programs do, like Google, except it doesn't track what you're doing or record what you were doing. So, question 8. Describe at least one data storage concern, data privacy concern, or data security concern related to the innovation. So instead of talking about the data privacy concern or data security, I talked about the lack of. The lack of is a problem. Sometimes it is the freedom that a lack of privacy gives to individuals that causes them to partake in criminal activity. So when using services like Tor, individuals can usually do mostly anything that they want to do on the internet without anybody knowing. This allows people to do the things that they wouldn't be able to do if they were being tracked or their data was being recorded. The lack of data retrievable in Tor makes it easier for people to buy guns, drugs, or many of the other illegal products that I mentioned before. And it can be very difficult for governments to track down and shut down these businesses on the illegal online black market. So without regulation and without the ability to secure data and make sure that it's safe for everyone using it, Tor can become a very dangerous place. And here's my references. The most important reference that I have is the How Tor Works from the Tor community. Click on the link. Here we are. This is from Tor itself. This tells you everything you need to know about Tor, how Tor works, why we need it. I found this to be my most valuable resource, as most information on the deep web is pretty hard to come by, most accurate information. So I figured the best place to go would be to the developer itself. And before I finish my presentation, I would like to bring you to the index. This is the index of my project, Anonymous Access to Information. Here's the table of contents of my index. This allows you to go back to all the different points that I covered in my presentation. Here's the abstract of it, which before you go through all this, it tells you exactly what I address, and I will go through this and tell you what I addressed from my abstract right now. I explained that why it's both dangerous and important to use Tor. I covered cybercrime, personal privacy, and how the data is used on Tor. So here we have my animation, and this was created using a GIF maker. It takes 3 images, you give it an allotted amount of time, and it uses that time to mesh 3 images together. And I made the logo, which I created using Pixlr as well as my banner. I used the logo and I put it on top of the second picture to kind of make it look a little more fresh. So this is my presentation about anonymous access to information. Thank you for visiting and watching my video presentation. Once again, this was Anonymous Access to Information by Gunnar Johnson. So come look at my site. Here's the link. It's http://gzj1000.vps.cs.uri.edu/index.html. Once again, thank you for watching my presentation.